Excellent. So, you've recently watched a film, a truly amazing, sad, hilarious...
Part of mine and my girlfriend's continuing classic movie Sunday.
Has she not seen it?
Nope.
Shocking.
I think the only Wes Anderson film she's seen is Fantastic Mr. Fox, which I've not seen.
It's a masterpiece.
Yeah, I really want to watch it. I've got the DVD on order, so I'm quite excited about watching it.
Yeah.
So I decided to properly introduce her to the world of Wes Anderson.
Yeah.
With the, in my opinion, modern classic.
Yeah.
The Royal Tenenbaums.
Great film.
Which is, in my opinion, one of the best films of the 2000s, one of the best comedies of all time, and one of my all-time favourite top 20 favourite films.
It's just an incredible film, The Royal Tenenbaums.
Yeah.
So, story is, Royal Tenenbaum, played amazingly by Gene Hackman.
Hackman!
Played by Hackman,
Yeah.
is the family patriarch of the Tenenbaums, the once gifted but now in decline family
Yeah.
of sort of geniuses, a tennis prodigy, a playwright. What does Ben Stiller do?
Ben Stiller owned a company when he was a kid, and he basically, when he got to the age of 12, he legally divorced his parents. It was something like he got rid of his dad and basically made he couldn't get involved in the business, and basically he was running a business by the time he was 12.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's all gone. Royal's not been there for years.
About him and his wife Angelica Houston having divorced, they've been separated for like 21 years, we've not been in contact with each other.
Yeah.
And the Royal is horribly depressed and lonely.
Yeah.
So he decides to reconnect with his family the only way that he can, because of all the hurt that he's done, by pretending that he has cancer and he's dying. Yeah. And it's his attempt to reconnect with his family.
Yeah.
Needless to say that the tension is over when the bombshell is going to be revealed. And Royal, through lying, tries to reconnect with his estranged family, his wife, his sons and daughter, and his grandchildren.
And his grandchildren,
which he connects to for the first time.
You got Gwyneth Paltrow's playwright, who's now depressed and married to Bill Murray.
Yeah, Bill Murray's doing really weird tests on this child. They have a really weird relationship.
They do sort of a sexless marriage where neither of them even like. Well, Bill Murray seems amicable enough, but she seems to hate him.
Yeah, yeah.
Luke Wilson, who pines for his sister.
His adopted sister.
His adopted sister, and he's a tennis player.
He's a tennis player who failed in his big game because Gwyneth Paltrow just got married to Bill Murray. He was, of course, sad and depressed about it, so his big tennis match failed, and he disappears and goes on the sea for like 5 or 6 years, so he's been away from the family. Ben Stiller has kind of grown up without his father. He's kind of grown up without his father. He's got 2 children to a wife that has died in the past year, really recently. So the character's really hurting and sad about that.
But like all Wes Anderson films, channels that into something else, which is overprotective.
Yeah.
Being overprotective and, yes, not letting his children do anything.
And Angelica Houston is having advances from Danny Glover, trying to get married to him. Danny Glover looks after a lot of the family's kind of financial business interests.
Yeah.
And he's trying to get together with Angelica Houston, but she doesn't know how to react because Royal's back in the picture.
Yeah.
So I absolutely adore this film.
It's just incredible.
Yeah. I think every single element works so beautifully together. I don't think I've seen a film where it's quite as sad and melancholic as it is funny.
Yeah.
Like it manages to combine those two really disparate elements together and make it into a really kind of really effective and haunting film.
Yeah.
I think it's Wes Anderson at his most effective. I think he always does it really well, doing that kind of mixture of a melancholic storyline with really funny and likeable characters.
Yeah.
And I think out of the ones I've seen, I've not seen all of his films, out of the ones I've seen, this is the one where I think it gets balanced perfectly. I think Gene Hackman's central performance as Royal is brilliant. You know, like it's a hard job to make someone as unlikable as Royal into a really likeable and relatable person.
Yeah.
You know, he admits that he's terrible. He admits he'll be the first one to admit that he's a terrible father.
Yeah.
But for some reason, you still like him.
Yeah.
He's still relatable.
It's because he's Gene Hackman. He's a legend. He's charismatic and warm and funny, and he seems to be making honest attempts to get back with his family
through a really dishonest way.
Well, there's a great scene where he takes it's Ben Stiller's kids, isn't it? He takes them like to the downtown. Is it set in New York? This film?
Yeah, it's New York. Yeah.
He takes them to downtown and they start betting and riding around.
They bet on dog fights, chicken fights, or dog fights, or something like that. Yeah. So he's like, come on kids, you gotta get out there and we gotta cause some trouble and build your character. So so we like throw water bombs at cars and they bet on dog fights and stuff like that.
That kind of stuff. He seems to be making honest inroads into trying to become like a father figure again.
That's it, yeah.
It's not the fact he's trying to hustle and stuff. Like it seems like he's trying to, but he's just so warm and funny and he's a great character, well written and brilliantly performed by one of Gene Hackman's best performances.
I think so, yeah.
And one of his, I'm going to just pretend his career ended here rather than Welcome to Mooseport, which is a terrible Ray Romano comedy, which was his actual last film as actor.
Oh gosh.
Before retiring.
Before retirement, yeah.
Hopefully he'll make another one. He's still alive, he's still got time. But
He could star in another Wes Anderson film.
Yeah, he could have been in Grand Budapest.
He could have been, yeah.
But like this and all is sort of before the period of Wes Anderson films where he was accused of being too cutesy and because after this he followed it up with one of his first flops, which was The Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou.
Ah, right, yeah.
Like this film were a massive hit, and that had a massive budget of something like 60 million.
Okay.
And it just failed miserably because no one wanted to see a film about a depressed oceanographer.
Oddly enough, I mean, really, like with Wes Anderson, it's almost been like, and since Royal Tenenbaums, I feel as a filmmaker, he's been fighting a bit of an uphill battle.
Yeah.
Like every single film is him trying to like reinstate his stylistic concerns, and it's really only with Grand Budapest where he's kind of regained some kind of.
No, Moonrise Kingdom, everyone loved that.
See, even Moonrise Kingdom has some people that say it's a bit too cutesy and
ridiculous.
Which I disagree because I love Moonrise Kingdom, but no, in my opinion, because Moonrise Kingdom was popular amongst Wes Anderson fans, but it didn't really cross over.
Yeah.
While Grand Budapest Hotel crossed over in a big way.
Yeah.
Or his other films haven't. So I feel like he's been fighting an uphill battle until the Grand Budapest Hotel, which is a bit more, any audience can enjoy it. It's not as sad or as melancholic as
any of his
other films.
Yeah.
And so like Royal Tenenbaums really rides the line between funny and kind of tragic.
Yeah.
Which is something I really like about the film.
Well, you'll have one scene which is hilarious, and then the next will be like really depressing. Like there's the brilliant scene where Luke Wilson tries to kill himself.
Oh god, yeah.
That scene's just harrowing to watch.
I think it comes after. It comes after a certain point in the film. I think it's after his father's revealed that he's been lying this whole time about having cancer, and he's got really long hair, he's got a big massive shaggy beard, and he's been wearing sunglasses for the whole film. So he cuts off all of his hair, he cuts his beard, takes his glasses off, and then he cuts himself, and all the blood trickles down into the basin, and it's a really well constructed scene. And then they find him, and it's like you're watching a comedy film, and you're dealing with a character who's tried to kill himself. And I think it handles it in a really effective way.
Yeah.
It shows the aches and the pains and the recovery period and the kind of psychological damage. I think that's when it really hits home to Royal about what he's done.
Yeah.
That's kind of a turning point in the film when he decides to, honestly, he actually decides to get a job because he can't hustle any more money, so he gets a job working as a doorman, like an elevator operator in a hotel. And then it's at this point in the film that he decides to kind of turn his life around and make positive inroads. Not all successful, because a lot of hurt's been done to him. Like Gwyneth Paltrow doesn't really get a lot of closure from him, but he tries with Ben Stiller, and at the end of the film they kind of reconnect. So I mean, what I love about the film is even at the end of the film, after the characters have gone through all this stuff, it would have been quite easy to write it as like a happy ending.
Yeah.
But it's not a happy ending at all. It's really sad. It's kind of uplifting, but it's kind of sad at the same time. Like Luke Wilson admits that he loves Gwyneth Paltrow and she kind of loves him, but then they say, we can't do it. Even though we're not blood related, we're still brother and sister, basically.
Yeah.
And we'll just have to be secretly in love. So that plot line kind of doesn't have much of a closure to it. Maybe they don't. Maybe they say, oh, we're in love, we're gonna get together.
Yeah.
Ben Stiller, their dog dies because Owen Wilson crashes his car into it, so we have to replace the dog.
Yeah.
And
doesn't Royal save his kids though?
Yeah, Royal saves his kids. Yeah.
Yeah.
But the dog gets killed. And Luke Wilson doesn't really get what he's want. Owen Wilson is a horrible drug addict, so he's going to have to go to rehab. And then the only thing happy to happen is that Angelica Houston gets married to Danny Glover.
Yeah.
Which is sweet and it's nice. And then just when Ben Stiller and Royal reconnect with each other, Royal has a heart attack and dies.
Yeah.
It's really sad. I was getting so many emotions when I got to the end of the movie. It's just and it's Alec Baldwin does a really great narration. He's really good.
I forgot it's him, but he's great. Isn't he?
It's great. Yeah, and it just gets me, like he says, when Royal suffered a massive heart attack at the age of 67, and it just hits you so hard.
Yeah, that this family patriarch so awful is now dead, even though like he's leaving them behind no real better, but he's tried his last and doesn't really make any difference.
That's it. The shot that sums the film up beautifully is, I think it's the final shot of the film, where it shows Royal's headstone.
Yeah.
And it says, Royal Tenenbaum, yada yada yada, died 19 whatever to 2001. And it says, died in an ocean accident trying to save his family from evil pirates or something. It's something crazy like that. Like he died in a storm trying to save sailors or something like that. And it just sums it up perfectly, because it's sad that he's died, but at the same time it's quite funny.
Yeah.
But it's a lie.
Yeah.
And that's kind of just sums up the whole character really nicely.
Yeah.
He's a character that rides the line between what he should be and what he actually is.
Yeah.
Which he should be this kind of guiding force, his family patriarch, but he's a bit of a fuck up.
He's just a mess. Not as stylized, but still stylized as his other films, as in the later ones. It's not like the Grand Budapest, where every single shot feels carefully constructed, and the characters all have like every character's so distinct just from what they wear and their clothes and stuff. Like Harvey Keitel in that's a good example, where he's like shaved and like tattooed and everything. And there's still a lot of style to the film. I remember there's an amazing shot in there of Gwyneth Paltrow just walking, and it's done. I can't remember what it is. I haven't watched the film for about a year, but I remember there's an amazing shot of Gwyneth, because Gwyneth Paltrow looks really weird in this, doesn't she? She's like skinny and
she's really skinny. She's got like heavy makeup, and she's got like a little bob haircut, and
But she's amazing in this film.
She's great. She's really good. I really enjoyed her performance. She's kind of like the sad, miserable, arty one, and all of plays suck, and I think it's a really funny thing. It's in the opening montage, which, like I was saying earlier, I think the opening montage is one of the best in film. Yeah. It just sums up all the characters perfectly in like this 10-15 minute sequence where it shows them as kids, and it shows what a fuck up Royal is and how he treats his kids, and it's all backed by Hey Jude by the Beatles, and the song just fits perfectly. It's like this play has happened, and it's Margot Tenenbaum. It's her first play. I was like, so what do you think, Dad? I was like, well, I thought it was a bit amateurish, and that plot twist at the end didn't make a lot of sense, and the actors were all a bit rubbish, and the script was a bit weak. And so she runs off crying up to her bedroom. She's like, he's like, happy birthday, by the way. Because Angelica Houston's holding like a big birthday cake for her. Yeah. It's just great. Again, but it's really sad because it's basically kind of mentally destroying a child.
Quick light, and I'm sure I know what you're going to do, but what would you give Royal Tenenbaums out of 10?
I'd give it a middling 5.
Middling 5?
Middling 5. No, it's the full hog, it's the real deal, it's full 10.
It's a 10, it's a absolute masterpiece. It's not my favourite Wes Anderson film. I don't think it's as good as Moonrise Kingdom, but I think it's very close. It's just an amazing film.
An amazing achievement.
An amazing achievement, great performances all around. Owen Wilson's great.
He's really fun, he's great,
Back when he actually was great, instead of...
when he cared.
Yeah. But yes, great performances all around. It's a absolute classic, and you were saying a big Arrested Development precursor.
I was thinking as I was watching it, I was thinking, man, this kind of reminds me of Arrested Development, like the way it follows members of the family, and how it's a little bit depressing, but it's quite funny at the same time, and and I read afterwards, I was 100% correct.
Yeah.
The creator of Arrested Development says that, is heavily inspired by Royal Tenenbaums, and Patrick Bateman said, is his name Patrick Bateman?
No, not the guy
from American Psycho.
Jason Bateman.
Jason Bateman said that Arrested Development was almost like a Royal Tenenbaums shot in the style of Cars, or Cops.
Yeah.
Show Cops, which I think is pretty fair, so you can see a lot of influences in the two things, I think.
They are very similar to each other, but Royal Tenenbaums just a much sadder work.
That's it.
Much more melancholic, as opposed to sort of how it almost like what season 4 should have been. Development.
Yeah, it's what it should have been. Yeah.
But yes, anyone who's not seen Royal Tenenbaums, even if you're not a fan of Wes Anderson, I think you could still enjoy this.
I think so. Yeah.
I think it's his most sort of audience-friendly work. Even more than the Fantastic Mr. Fox.
Oh no, it's Grand Budapest.
Oh, Grand Budapest, yeah, I forget about that one.
Audience friendly, yeah.
Yeah, this one was a massive hit though, Royal Tenenbaums. Well, they're both big hits.
Royal Tenenbaums got quite really mixed reviews when it came out.
Did it? I thought it would have just been positive all the way through.
No, people... it's got something like a 75 or an 80% on Rotten Tomatoes. People said that, like, you know, they can't decide whether it's going to be funny or sad or dramatic, and people have kind of mixed opinions about it. It's only been in recent years when people have kind of said that, you know, it's one of the best films of the 2000s.
Yeah.
So it's one that's been critically rehabilitated.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
It's a great film. It should be excellent. But yes, 10 out of 10. Go watch it if you've not seen it.